When my father passed away, it felt like my entire world cracked in half. He wasn't just my dad, he was my best friend, my guide through everything. I spent my days at the hospital, holding his hand, praying he'd wake up just one more time. My wife, Emily, said she understood. She told me to take all the time I needed. But deep down, I could already feel her growing distant. The calls got shorter. The texts became rare. I thought it was just the grief making me paranoid. I didn't realize I was about to lose her to the funeral came. It was a quiet, gray day, the kind where even the sky looks like it's morning. I stood there with my mother, tears rolling down her cheeks, and when I turned to find Emily, she was sitting in the car, scrolling on her phone. She didn't come up to me, didn't hug me, didn't say a word. I told myself maybe she just didn't know how to handle death. Maybe she needed space. But that night, when I got home, she told me she was going to stay at her sister's for a few days. That was the last night she ever slept beside me. I tried calling her the next morning. No answer. Then again that evening. Nothing. On the third day, I drove to her sister's house, only to find out Emily hadn't been there at all. My heart dropped. Her things were gone from our home. Her clothes, her makeup, her favorite coffee mug. Everything. I sat in our empty kitchen staring at the ring she left on the counter. I remember whispering, "Why now?" Of all times, why now? A week passed. Then too, I finally got a message, short, cold, and final. I can't do this anymore. I need someone who isn't broken. I read it over and over, thinking maybe I misunderstood. But no, she left me because I was grieving. Because I wasn't laughing or planning weekend trips. Because I was just human. I didn't even have the energy to argue. I just sat on the edge of my bed, the one that still smelled faintly like her perfume, and cried for the first time since my dad's funeral. The days blurred together. I'd wake up, make coffee, and just sit at the table staring at the steam. Friends called to check in, but I couldn't answer. What was I supposed to say? My dad died, and my wife left me. I started walking at night, empty streets, soft orange lights flickering on the pavement. I'd pass by homes with laughter spilling through open windows, families eating dinner together. And every time, it felt like a knife in the chest. My mom tried to keep me company. She brought food, sat with me, told me stories about dad from when they were young. She said, "You'll get through this. You're stronger than you think." I wanted to believe her, but everything I built, the marriage, the home, the future, felt like it had collapsed overnight. Emily posted new photos on social media after a month. She was smiling beside someone else, a man I'd never seen before. My stomach turned. I realized she hadn't left because I was grieving. She left because she was already gone long. Before my father died, I stopped checking her updates. Deleted her number. It didn't stop the pain, but it stopped the bleeding a little. I went back to work. Colleagues gave me sympathetic looks, offered to grab drinks, but I just wanted silence. I started spending my evenings at a small cafe near the edge of town. The owner, a kind old man named Peter, never asked questions. He'd just pour me coffee, nod, and let me sit there as long as I wanted. I think he understood. Sometimes silence heals more than words. One evening, it started raining hard. I didn't have an umbrella, but I didn't care. I walked home soaked, shoes squelching, tears mixing with the rain. When I got inside, I found one of Dad's old jackets still hanging in the closet. I put it on and sat by the window, watching the water slide down the glass. It was strange. For the first time, I didn't feel angry. Just empty. Completely empty. Like a room after everyone's left and the lights are still on. Time passed slowly, painfully. I sold the house Emily and I shared. Too many memories there. I moved into a small apartment near the river. It was quiet, simple, and lonely, but it was mine. I started journaling, writing to Dad every night, telling him how I was doing, how much I missed him, and how much I wished he could tell me what to do next. I guess that became my therapy, letters to someone who would never answer, but somehow always listened. Now, months later, I sit at a little wooden table outside that same cafe. The sun setting, painting the sky gold. People walk by, laughing, living, loving. I don't have much left, no wife, no big house, no family dinners. But I have peace. Maybe that's what my dad wanted for me all along. I sip my coffee slowly and smile to myself. "You were right, Dad," I whisper. Some things and so better things can begin even if it's just learning to sit alone and feel okay. And with that, I sit in silence, the world moving around me, and for once, I don't feel lost.